Manchester United, where do we even really begin? They've been in a rebuilding phase for the past 10 seasons or so, and no manager has been able to get it right just yet. Erik Ten Hag, I'm a fan of your work. I love what you're doing at the club, changing the mindset, setting an example, and setting high standards, like making an example out of Ronaldo. That takes some courage, that takes some balls, I'm not gonna lie. However, what I'm not a fan of is his face scan in FIFA 23. He's just a generic, boring manager. I'm not a fan of that, so we're gonna be taking over.
It's an evil world we live in.
That's right, Sir BCHD will be the man to take over Manchester United and lead them in a brand new direction, or at least guide them on a similar path that Ten Hag was trying to accomplish in real life, and that is by only signing Dutch players in the transfer market in order to improve the Red Devils. That's right, we're back again with another club/country rebuild challenge, something that Ten Hag has really started to orchestrate in real life with the summer signings of Malacia. One of his former Ajax talents, Donny van de Beek, was already at the club, and who could forget the transfer saga of Frenkie de Jong all summer long. By the end of this challenge, I'm aiming for the entire starting 11 to be full of Dutch players, or at least 90% of the club to be from the Netherlands. We've got a plethora of superstars right here, but only a couple of them are eligible to be in the team. Donny van de Beek and Malacia, for starters, are the only two Dutch players at the club right now. They're officially the first two building blocks for this Manchester United rebuild, but for the rest of them, we've got a lot to replace. We've got players to sell, deadwood to get out of the club, aging superstars like Ronaldo on the bench, still at 37, Harry Maguire, who should have been long gone ages ago. It's not just a transition we got to get through here with Manchester United, it is a whole damn transformation. This is how I want the new total football Manchester United to play under Sir BCHD. We're going for press after possession loss in defense, and our offensive style is going to be a combination of fast build-up and direct passing. For now, we'll see what kind of summer business we can get up to with a total war chest of £210 million. We have got the finances. We are pretty much financially free to do what we want. Now, I know it's probably not the type of rebuild to utilize the youth academy, but we do have a Dutch talent in here that is eligible to be in the starting 11, Christian de Jong. It's the wrong de Jong though, not the one we're after. However, the shot stopper is the only Dutchman in our initial starting youth academy, so we're just going to promote him to the senior team for the fun of it. With a squad total of 42 players, this roster is absolutely insane to work with. Alright, gear up, buckle up, we've got a long summer ahead. A Dutch themed transfer window is about to take place, so get ready. Now, I think it'd be rude of us not to have picked up this lad at the first chance we get. He was the #1 priority, top of our summer shopping list, and to kick off the Dutch revolution here at Manchester United, did what Erik Ten Hag couldn't and made the Frenkie de Jong deal happen. It's going to be one of the most expensive signings we make all video, as Ronaldo and Casemiro are here to welcome the new midfield maestro in town. He is finally going to be a player at Old Trafford, and Frenkie de Jong, he is looking good in red, picking up the number 13, and our marquee midfield signing is signing on the dotted line. Forget the summer transfer rumors, we have agreed a deal with Barcelona, including Scott McTominay, plus £116.8 million, and we end up getting a C. I know it annoys some of you guys, but it's Sir BCHD's specialty, the swap deals, and we had to include some deadwood and a non-Dutch player to head the other way to the Camp Nou, but I am ecstatic about this. He's going to be straight into the starting 11. Now that, my friends, is how you kick off a rebuild. It's a cutscene that Manchester United fans have been wanting to see since this video started. It is Harry Maguire. He is departing the club. I know the first two operations have been so predictable, but we just had to get them out of the way, as the English centre-back, who has been absolutely abysmal for United in real life, he will be departing the club, and guess who? It is PSG acquiring his services for £22.5 million. It's an F negotiation, but I see nothing but W's. First David Luiz for 80 million, now Harry Maguire. What are they thinking over there in Paris? It's yet another sale headed out the door. We've got Fred the Red, a bit of a polarizing player when it comes to United. He's packed his bags, headed out the door, so BCHD waving farewell, and the Brazilian will be leaving us to Milan, Serie A champions, picking him up for £17.8 million, and it's pretty much for his valuation. Nonetheless, we've raised enough funds in order to make an attacking investment, and again, it is a swap deal. We have sought out another high priority on our shopping list this summer. It's going to be Cody Gakpo from PSV, who has completely just revolutionized his career over in the Eredivisie for PSV. In real life, he is absolutely killing it at the moment, and is probably definitely one to watch out for when the World Cup comes this summer, as he will be donning the Manchester United red. I believe Erik ten Hag was very close to signing him in real life too, so he's probably going to be departing to Old Trafford in real life as well. That is an A-grade signing. Our transfer executive is over the moon as the brand new number 11. He's actually come ahead and stole Martial's number. That's right, Tony was included in the deal, 29.4 million plus the Frenchman headed the other way, and who knows, potentially we could convert him into a decent striker. Victor Lindelof, you thought you were safe. You saw Harry Maguire out the door and he probably thought he was going to make his way back into the starting 11. However, the Swede, the Iceman, hasn't really lived up to the hype and potential here at United, and he's extremely inconsistent. Also, he isn't Dutch, so he doesn't fit the quota and the brand new United transfer policy, so we'll be raising some funds, selling him out the door as he joins Villarreal for £21.3 million. It's again one player in, two players out. In this little transaction, we have gotten yet another swap deal, and it's just become the most efficient way. It's Sir BCHD's favourite just to weed out all the non-Dutch players and also deadwood at the club, as we've gone ahead and lured Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen, the Dutch right back. He is younger, has more potential, and is extremely more versatile than Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who we've included in this deal. Posing in red, he is loving life as 8.9 million has been agreed. Plus the Englishman departing to Germany, the Dutchman will be our brand new starting right back, Jeremy Frimpong. Welcome to Manchester. As the wing back departures just keep on coming, the world's most expensive teenage transfer, Luke Shaw, will be finally departing United after nearly 10 years. He's been shipped out the door to Borussia Dortmund. BVB pick him up for 20.2 mil. And that deal just all but confirms Malacia to be our starting left back for the team, the Dutchman to get the most game time and to hopefully, fingers crossed, fulfill his potential. It's going down. Sir BCHD is yelling at timber. Don't mind the Kesha reference, but hey, here we are getting another defender in the doors. We're improving this Dutch defense by bringing in a backup brigade type of centre back, an option in off the bench, and poaching on the chance to sign Jurrien Timber for £47.1 million. We had to shell out quite a bit. We had to poach on the opportunity to sign him before a big club came in and swooped him up. He's an exciting prospect, so hopefully grows into a first team player, as it's another former Ajax Erik ten Hag talent. Let's hope the lad can grow and fulfill his potential here in England. Despite him being one of the Saudi investors' recent acquisitions, we've managed to prize away Sven Botman from Newcastle to join us a bit further down south here in Manchester. As he's completing his medicals, he'll be yet another backup option in that centre back spot and hopefully overcome either Martinez or Varane to be our first choice starting centre back alongside Jurrien Timber. That could be a centre back combo to lead us on for years to come, as we agree to deal with the Magpies, £28 million on the dot. It's a B grade deal. I think that's an underrated signing, not gonna lie. As we've confirmed yet another signing, it's a wonder kid putting pen to paper, another product of Ten Hag's Ajax Youth Academy system, and has just come through the Ajax conveyor belt over the years. It is Ryan Gravenberch. Made the big money move to Bayern Munich, but with lack of game time, just not being a part of their overall project right now. He is one for the future and definitely a future first team starter here at United. Going to be linking up with Frankie de Jong in the midfield. Once Casemiro gets a bit too old, we've got a long-term solution for £36.4 million. A face scan? Tick. An exciting prospect? Tick. A future Dutch baller? Tick. What could go wrong for our brand new number 15? And for our final deal of the summer transfer window, we're going to go ahead and acquire a backup goalkeeper just to say we've got a Dutch shot stopper. Unlike in the Leeds USA rebuild, we've got Justin Bilio, who'll be arriving from Feyenoord, and just in case De Gea gets injured or he eventually retires, leaves the club, we have an option in between the sticks. We've spent the remainder of our transfer budget on that one, £24.8 million to bring him over. And that's left us with a minuscule emergency fund for January, £7 million. Don't think we'll need it. However, this is what the starting 11 will be looking like headed into the season. The one major flaw is that we're lacking in Dutch attacking options. However, we're trying to convert Gakpo into a striker. It's going to take a year. Casemiro can easily be replaced by Van der Beek or Gravenberch. Botman and Timber still not good enough for the starting 11, so hopefully they grow this season. Meanwhile, Frimpong will be thrown into the deep end at right back. Frankie de Jong dons the captain's armband, and I did change his number to that number 5, and it's the only way. We had to start off with a bang in this Dutch revolution. The future is here, and it's here to stay, as we're going to go ahead and simulate the entire first season to see how Sir BCHD's Reds get on. It's the end of season 1, the Premier League results are in, and the Sir BCHD Dutch era has taken off. We have reached the stratosphere right here, winning United's first Premier League title since 2013. 10 years later, and all it took were a few Dutchmen determine to help us bring the title home. With 89 points, we won it on the last day. Liverpool and Chelsea came close, but Man City down in 5th. I mean, I've seen a couple of Premier Leagues now, and it doesn't look like they win it every year, so at least that's good. Arsenal are down in 6th. Meanwhile, getting relegated is Fulham, Bournemouth, and Brentford, all going back down to the championship. But hey, we're champions, and that's all that matters. Now, in the FA Cup, Man City win that one out 1-0 against Wolves, as our Red Devils were knocked out pretty early in round 3 to Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. And over here in the Carabao Cup, we take a 2-1 win home, so 2 pieces of domestic silverware up against Middlesbrough in the final, a team that Michael Carrick just took over in real life. And of course, there was no Champions League football, Europa League it was. And in Group E, they didn't even top it, finishing in 2nd with 13 points in the round of 16. They came through and won 4-2 against Freiburg on aggregate. Against Monaco in the quarters, they won on penalties 4-3. And in the semi-finals, beating out PSV, a side which we have stolen so much talent from. And over in the final, winning 5-1 against Jose Mourinho's Roma. A dominating display, and I guess that is kind of like the Mickey Mouse treble. Europa League, Carabao Cup, and Premier League, I'll take it. It's an electrifying start here under Sir BCHD as West Ham take home the Conference League 2-0 against Villarreal. Who else could it be? Manager of the month, Sir BCHD. He's taking these home like it's nothing. Now I know he's probably some of the United OG players like Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes carrying this team, but how much of an impact did the Dutch signings make on the team? We're going to see our top goal scorer right here. It is Cody Gakpo, who we successfully converted into a striker. Didn't take as long as I thought it was, and his good form completely propelled him to be our Golden Boot winner. 35 goals and 11 assists for the 24-year-old, growing up a +2. Double figures in both departments, as Ronaldo was right behind him at 38 years of age. He is still putting up those numbers. 34 goals and 7 assists for CR7, as Anthony on the right-hand side reaching double figures in both departments, turning both provider and goal scorer. Bruno Fernandes having a pretty decent season as well, only getting a +1, as Frankie de Jong pretty much had the season of his life. World-class midfielder, and that's why we spent the big bucks on him. 38 goal contributions from the main man. We've made him the captain. He's the beating heart and soul of this team, and is going to be the difference between us completing the rebuild and completely failing and getting fired. Marcus Rashford pretty much took a backseat. Meanwhile, Casemiro at 31, still getting the majority of the game time. Lisandro Martinez growing up a +3, as Ryan Gravenberch had a little bit of a breakout season. 3 goals and 3 assists for him. Yurian Timber growing up a +3, making a case for himself to be a starting centre-back over in Season 2. Donny van de Beek with a pretty underwhelming season, although getting a +3 bump in his overall. That propels him into the 80s. Jadon Sancho, again, with Gakpo in the starting 11, he's getting benched. Malacia with a Frankie de Jong-esque season in terms of growth, a +5 for him. Who said dynamic potential was dead? As David De Gea, still our number 1, kept 17 clean sheets. As we take a look at our most valuable player, it is of course Frankie de Jong, in the 9-figure range with a market value of 137.5 million. We do have a few departures to report on here. Over in January, a couple of free signings went away on a pre-contract, as Diogo Dalot makes his move to North London. Arsenal pick him up on a free, and Phil Jones finally departs United, making the move to Al Hilal on a free transfer. That's the recap for our first season in charge at Old Trafford. Taking home 3 trophies, getting United back into the Champions League. There's still work to do on and off the pitch. We're going to try and attract even more Dutch talent in Season 2. This young and exciting team is hungry. They got that dog in them. Now for Season 2, I think the financial department are on us, as our transfer budget has been slashed in half in comparison to our first campaign. We've got £105 million in the piggy bank. Not what we're used to, but still plenty of money to go out and splash in the market. I don't know how we're going to top the last summer transfer window, but watch out, this summer might get crazy. To kick off Season 2, it is our first player sale right here, and it is going to be Alanga, the Swedish winger. Never really got much of a look in our starting 11, and let's face it, isn't part of our future plans. He's out of the United project, and we managed to get a cheeky £7 million out of him as he departs to the Foxes at Leicester. And this one, it's a bit tougher to explain the reasoning behind this. He was our second highest goal scorer with 34 goals in Season 1, but I think it's time to move on from CR7, Mr. Shoo himself. It's time for Ronaldo to depart and leave Manchester United, close the second chapter of his United career, and he'll be walking out the door. It's tough to say goodbye, but it had to be done for the future, for the Dutch boys to really kick into gear and learn to live without Ronaldo. He is departing to his former club Juventus for £40.4 million. In career mode, it's criminal to keep him. He's approaching 40 years of age. Let's hope we can cope without Ronaldo as he takes their number 11. Now with CR CR7 out of the picture, one of our main source for goals last season. We need a brand new attacker, a striker, a super sub that's going to come off the bench and provide danger going forward. And we've opted for Borussia Dortmund's Daniel Milan. The Dutchman joined BVB with high expectations as he joins us here at Old Trafford for £38 million on the dot. He makes the permanent move over. I never felt like he really hit the ground running at Dortmund. He was a bit injury prone there, so let's hope he keeps fit with us, but he's got that special something. And I got a feeling if dynamic potential hits, he could be a real star for us going forward. There's a story behind every transfer, and this story I think beats them all. We've got a former failed flop Manchester United signing that was criticised all throughout his time at United. Under Louis van Gaal, he was one of the poster boys of the banter era, and now he gets the chance to redeem himself under Sir BCHD. He makes his return to Old Trafford, and let's hope the second time's better than the first as Memphis takes the number 10. He arrives from Barcelona, and it's a star-studded one. He's getting the special cutscene this time. Posing in front of the cameras as a champion, we secured the deal for £52.41 million. And what kind of grade are we going to get? That's a B. I avoided signing Depay, knowing that in the first season we had to develop the likes of Gakpo in up front, but now we have the option of both Marlon and Depay off the bench, potentially even starting. And then our 29-year-old is pretty versatile too. He can play up front or on the left. Is it a second time lucky for Memphis here in red, or is it going to be another disaster class? We're going to have to wait and see. Now, here's a real deep cut on the channel. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know all about Xavi Simons. I think I've pretty much got this guy to thank for having a career on YouTube. I mean, I gotta salute the bloke. He has my most viewed video on the channel. If you've been watching for that long, you'll know my Xavi Simons FIFA 19 growth test. I can never live it down. I can't live it down, as the man single-handedly shotgunned my YouTube momentum into the stratosphere. I've had to pay homage here in FIFA 23's. He's got a game face scan. He's arriving from PSG as we agreed a deal, a little swap deal, adding Christian Eriksen in plus £4 million. We've DM'd a little bit back and forth. I've got to, show him my appreciation, because I don't know where I'd be without that Xavi Simons video blowing up. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to make here in the rebuild, but it had to be done as he takes the famous Manchester United number 7. It didn't take long, but we've successfully converted Memphis Depay back into a left winger, so he's going to be starting alongside Gakpo in that starting front three. And after a flurry of incoming transfers to start off the summer, we've had to send a couple of our talents out on loan, the likes of Pelistri to Olympic Lyon. We've got Mejbri off to Osasuna. Zidane Iqbal joins Levante on a 1-year loan deal, and Amad Diallo joins Napoli on a 2-year loan deal. We're setting our expectations high. We've got multiple competitions to compete in this season, and we're going to supply the squad all the tools it needs. We're trophy hungry this season, and we had enough money too, so I thought we'd activate the release clause for Brian Brobby, yet another Ajax talent I'm sure Erik Ten Hag is extremely familiar with, as the Dutch youngster will join us for £43.2 million. We're overspending, but that's pretty much what's left remaining in our budget anyway, so we might as well use it. And the absolute tank, he's a monster for his age, for his size. Some say he's the Dutch Lukaku, who will be our third choice going forward. Yet another massive talent we've poached from the Eredivisie. And it also ticks off one of our manager objectives. Now all we've got to do is win the Premier League title, and we should be sweet. Sir BCHD won't be facing the sack anytime soon. Here's our first permanent player sale. It's pretty minor so far of the summer. It is going to be Deshaun Bernard, headed off to Elche for £2.7 million. And right here is our Champions League group. We've been drawn back into Group C. For the first time in a couple of seasons, United have returned, and we're going to be facing Milan, Frankfurt, and Dynamo Kiev. Deadline day is upon us, and yet again, we've been productive and efficient in this transfer window, doing all the business we needed to get done pretty early. We didn't really leave anything to the last minute, so we're just going to skip everything, dead off all the rumors, bob and weave all the drama. Our projects in terms of play development this time around was trying to convert Donny van der Beek into a cam. Gravenberch is attempting to be a first-team staple and a long-term replacement for Casemiro, who's currently on the bench. We pretty much have, 80% of our starting 11 Dutch? It's going to be tough to replicate last year's success, but I think we've done the work off the pitch. We've spent the money, invested in the right areas, and this Dutch revolution is going from strength to strength. So let's see how they crack on in the second campaign. Now we've closed the curtain on Season 2, and we have just managed to scrape by and take home the Premier League back-to-back, claiming it again with 81 points, and it came down to goal difference on the final day against Liverpool. Also, Manchester City were in the mix. A classic 3-horse title race that was down to the wire as Chelsea landed that 4th spot. We scrolled down the table, Arsenal down in 11th, Everton and Newcastle managed to sneak up into the top 10. Meanwhile, getting relegated, it is Burnley, Southampton and Blackburn. English domestic titles, it's just what we do, as we also took home the FA Community Shield against City 4-1. As the FA Cup saw Spurs win that one 1-0 against City in the final, we're going to go to where we were eliminated, and it was in round 5. We were knocked out against the eventual finalists 4-3. The Carabao Cup, we couldn't go back-to-back in that title as West Ham won 3-2 in the final, a 5-goal thriller against Liverpool, and we embarrassingly got knocked out against Ipswich 2-1 in the quarters. But the Champions League, here is the big one, what we're all waiting for. Group C toppers United, undefeated with 16 points, easy stuff. They went on to face Ajax and won 5-4 on penalties, so just getting through there, qualifying for the quarters, and it saw them win another high-octane aggregate fixture 4-3 against RB Leipzig, and then another German opposition came through, and Wolfsburg, they couldn't get past them 4-4 in aggregate, losing out on penalties in the home fixture, and there you go, Wolfsburg ended up winning the Champions League. What is going on? I've seen so many weird things happen in these couple of rebuilds I've done, especially in the Leeds one. Now it's happening again. Wolfsburg have become a new powerhouse of world football. I don't know. However, in the Europa League, Inter won 2-1 against Manchester City, so a lot of big clubs dropping down to the minor European competitions, and there you go. It's a prime example of it. Borussia Dortmund winning the Conference League 2-0, reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League, coming oh so close to making it into the big dance this season. But where did it all go wrong, or where did it all go right? We still ended up taking 2 pieces of silverware home this season. It was Cody Gakpo again to provide the goal scoring solutions. The lone wolf in up top has turned into a goal scoring machine. The 25-year-old now entering his prime with 31 goals and 7 assists. He's been rewarded with a +3 to his overall, now hitting that 88. We've got Anthony, second top goal scorer, yet another +3 with 24 goals and 8. Meanwhile, it was Donny van der Beek with the season of his life, the only player in this side to get double figures in both goals and assists. 22 goals, 20 assists, 42 goal contributions, as Memphis Depay's return to Old Trafford was nothing but successful. 18 goals and 3 assists for our dynamic left winger, getting a +2 to his overall. Bruno Fernandes has been left out of the squad thanks to Donny van der Beek's brilliant performances. We've got Ryan Gravenberch continuing to tear it up in the midfield, as Frankie de Jong hasn't had quite the season he did in his debut campaign, but still 6 goals and 17 assists, pulling the strings from midfield. Jadon Sancho looks like he's getting benched by Depay, as Jurrien Timber, again, you'd expect a season like that to get him a few more points to his overall, but it's only a +1. Jeremy Frimpong again only with a +1, so dynamic potential is weird, man. Meanwhile, Sven Botman gets a +4, and he had less appearances than Jurrien Timber. I don't know, make it make sense. Malacia had another decent campaign, and Daniel Milan off the bench only got a goal. Brian Brobby didn't really see too much action as well, a extreme backup. David De Gea this time capturing 18 clean sheets. Meanwhile, he's in his 30s and still growing in overall. Yet our youngsters don't get the full growth in terms of dynamic potential. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. EA need to fix career mode. Nonetheless, it is still Frankie de Jong, our top prized asset, with a market valuation of £134.5 million. It's Cody Gakpo reaching that 9-figure range, now worth £100 million on the dot. If he keeps these numbers up, he is looking like the signing of the rebuild so far. I think the second season syndrome hit the Dutch Revolution like a ton of bricks. They had some major highs and some major lows with some embarrassing knockouts in competitions. We're going to end the season there and pray that the United board give us another chance. Yes, there we go. We can load into the third season because we're skating on thin ice thanks to that board manager rating. I'm counting my lucky stars right now. Sir BCHD gets third time lucky. Meanwhile, we're rewarded with an £121 million transfer budget this summer. Still, nothing that compares to season 1's finances, but we'll take it. With a substandard 50 manager rating and our objectives this season having nothing to do with our performances on the pitch, this could go either way right now. We could get sacked mid-season or go on to achieve big things. It's literally up to the board because we've still got that thumbs down and I'm not getting good vibes from it. Not that it really matters on the entire rebuild as a whole, but it's nice to see our impact on the international stage as the Netherlands managed to make it all the way to the Euro 2024 semi-finals, losing out 2-0 to France in the semis. Germany ended up winning the whole thing. Yeah, but the Dutchmen doing big things for club and country, as Gakpo was Holland's main goal scorer with 2 goals and 5 appearances. So now it's just starting to feel like an Ajax reunion with Erik ten Hag's former Reds. As we've gone big or gone home, we need to improve this defensive situation thanks to dynamic potential not hitting Jurrien Timber like it should, and us leaking goals in major competitions. We need a brick wall, a centre back that is going to take no nonsense Someone that has been linked in real life to the club as well, it is De Ligt. Matthias will be joining us from Bayern Munich for £105.4 million. I don't know how, but our transfer executive thinks that's an excellent deal. Financially, it's taken up our whole entire transfer budget, but in terms of quality in the starting 11, he slots right in. We've pretty much exhausted all our funds, but hey, he's Champions League quality. He is a monster, a solid defensive unit that is going to guarantee clean sheets. I know it's predictable. I know he's an oversigned career mode sensation, but we just had to do it. It's a Champions League quality signing for a team gunning to win the Holy Grail. As here's your look at the new look starting 11 with De Ligt in the starting side, headed into season 3. Continentally, we've been drawn into Group A alongside Inter, Athletic Bilbao, and Nantes from France. We've pretty much done everything we needed to do domestically. Now it's time to take all of our quality into the Champions League. Coming oh so close last season, it's time to get revenge. One player in, one player out. It's pretty simple, stock standard summer. Just one major addition to the squad, which didn't really need much tinkering. We've got our manager rating back into a thumbs up, which is good. Let's just hope this is the year everything clicks. We avoid the sack. This Dutch talent lives up to the hype and makes the most of it on the pitch. Now, ever since day dot, we've absolutely strolled through the Premier League without question. It's our bread and butter at this point. It's just what we do. The boys have gone ahead and won it again, just like the glory days, back to back to back. It's 3 titles in a row, beating out the likes of Chelsea, City, and Spurs to the punch. Meanwhile, it's Liverpool missing out on European football and Arsenal down in 11th. They have just completely crumbled back to the banter era in this rebuild, as getting relegated it is Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Stoke City. 82 points was the magic number this year, as in the FA Community Shield, it was Spurs to win it out on penalties 5-4. We already won it last season, so I guess we don't really need to feel too down about that, as we didn't make the FA Cup final either. It was the Citizens taking that one home 4-0, as we were knocked out in round 5 against Coventry. What's with us in these embarrassing cup eliminations? I mean, we're champions of England, yet we're losing to Coventry. However, this is the competition where it all matters. It comes down to the Champions League, as yet again they finished top of their group. The Dutch Red Devils making it through to the round of 16, where they just saw out Napoli 3-2 on aggregate, and again it was another close call against RB Salzburg 4-3. Making their way through to the semi-finals, it's another 4-3 scoreline in favor of the boys. There we go, they go ahead and meet PSG in the final. The big dance is upon us here in 2025, and they just saw out Chelsea in a 5-4 thriller as well. Crazy scorelines happening all over, and thankfully we've been getting the luck of the green along the way. Just in case you were wondering, it was Real Madrid, the Champions League specialists, winning it out in the Europa League 2-1 against Inter in the final. The lads managed to throw away all domestic cup hopes and put their eggs into one basket, the Champions League, and it has paid in dividends. With a mixture of the Manchester United OGs like David De Gea, Bruno Fernandes and co, combining them with Dutch superstar talent, let's see who our top performers were this season as we gauge one final look at the squad prior to this Champions League final, and it's that man again, Codesmeister Cody Gakpo. I think this man is a legitimate cheat code in FIFA 23 career mode this year. Convert him into a striker and you'll just see goals galore. The 26-year-old still yet to hit his prime, a +2, now up to a 90 overall, 48 goal contributions in 60 appearances. I can't speak highly enough of the lad. You thought it was Ronaldo carrying us in season 1, but the next 2 campaigns, Cody Gakpo has carried this team on his back alongside Anthony, the Brazilian, in the front 3 with 22 goals and 3. Memphis Depay has just consistently done well. He's proved a point, making sure he wasn't a flop at the second time of asking. 21 goals and 8 assists as Bruno Fernandes grew a +2, one of the only players to get double figures in both departments this season. As Ryan Gravenberch had yet another outstanding campaign as our midfield powerhouse, it was Frankie de Jong, the captain, with 10 goals and 20 assists, 30 goal contributions for our 93 rated maestro. Donny van de Beek had a bit less of an eventful campaign this time around. Bruno Fernandes kicked back into gear. We actually successfully converted him into a cam, but the numbers just didn't prove otherwise, as Daniel Mylan got 3 goals in off the bench. Matthias De Ligt, in his debut campaign, he got himself 2 goals. Jadon Sancho off the bench with 2 and 2. Jeremy Frimpong out and out right back with 1 goal, but the growth just hasn't been there for the 24-year-old, unfortunately. Same thing with Yuri and Timber. With dynamic potential in previous installments, they would be, high 80s right now, but their growth has just been stunted. For one reason or another, I'm not quite sure. Rafael Varane starting to make his way out of the starting 11 now that we've got De Ligt in our ranks. And I'm glad we got to involve some of the upcoming wonder kids out of Holland right now, like Brian Brobby, Xavi Simons, a channel legend, Tyrell Malacia having a decent campaign out with 5 assists, and this time it's 16 clean sheets for David De Gea, a player in his 30s who's still growing. growing. Dynamic potential, just growth in general in FIFA 23 is mind-boggling me right now. As our highest rated asset, I mean, we all saw it coming. It's Frenkie de Jong at 143 million. Meanwhile, it's Cody Gakpo going up 14 million from last season, and Matthias de Ligt recently purchased 3 players in the 100 mil range. You just know that Champions League final was going to come sooner or later. Now, here is what we're up against in European club football's night of nights. We have got PSG. No Neymar, however, they have a front three of Pulisic, Mbappe, and Messi, a player which we considered signing in Virgil van Dijk at the back, Captain Marquinhos, Tapsoba, and a giant Gianluigi Donnarumma in between the sticks. It's going to be a night under the floodlights to remember at Schalke's home ground. Let's see if the Dutch lads have got enough in them to duke it out with the best and take home the title. It's been a remarkable 3-season journey as the Frenkie de Jong tifo is out from the Manchester United fans. That's how much they appreciate their captain. Going head to head, fighting for that trophy, hoping the ribbons will be red and white. It's our strongest starting 11 with a little bit of Dutch influence, as I have decided to opt for Donny van de Beek over Bruno Fernandes in that center attacker midfield spot, but we're pretty much at full strength. The Reds are ready to kick on and give it their best as PSG will open proceedings for tonight. Let's get this done. Guys, I feel like it's just going to come down to this every single time in the rebuilds. Versing PSG in a Champions League final, it's probably got a 90% chance of happening in every single save. Not going to lie. Track him down as Botman with a crucial interception inside to Gakpo. Referee waves play on. Donny van de Beek finds the ball over the top. Memphis Depay is going to chase it down. There's Gakpo in the middle. He's going to hit him with the first time cross, and the header's there. And Gianluigi Donnarumma got a palm to it. It's a fiery start as Pulisic has already copped himself a yellow card.
He tried it.
What was he thinking there? Just took him straight out. Find anything? No. I still don't know how to take corners in this game. Oh, here we go with Christian Pulisic, already warned by the referee. It's Kylian Mbappe straight through one-on-one. He tried to chip De Gea, and unfortunately for him, it goes wide over the post. Our hearts dropped there as De Gea was easily beaten. It just didn't drop down for the Frenchman. Trying to spread it out wide, but no one's compact enough, and Vitinha's got so much space to work with here. He's going to take a long shot, and our Spanish shot stopper there to avert the danger. Back inside, Donny van de Beek finding Gravenberch. It's Gakpo in an abundance of space, and all of a sudden he's got Marquinhos to beat. Does a little flurry, and the finesse shot. I think Donnarumma got a fingertip to it, but he is causing the PSG defense all kinds of trouble tonight. Our defense has been on point so far. Gakpo needs to find some space. Anthony back inside. He finds Gakpo again. Gravenberch with the perfect ball through to Donny van de Beek. And the career revival was about to right itself there. It's Anthony trying to find the pass in. We've got Donny van de Beek. Gravenberch to find Gakpo, and he outmuscles Van Dijk. All of a sudden, it's Gakpo as Donnarumma denies him of the opener right on the stroke of half time. They've got the big Italian stallion in between the sticks, and he's going to be hard to get past as, oh my goodness, Depay tried the bicycle kick. It's going to be a goal kick. It was an opening first 45 of few chances, far and few between, actually, any attacking openings, and it's left us at 0-0, headed into the sheds, all level, all to play for in the second 45. It was dull, it was dreary. Let's hope the second half is anything but, as Gakpo back inside, and a lovely little 1-2 with Frenkie de Jong, and Donnarumma thought about coming for it. He's going to cut back Gakpo, and again Donnarumma was there to parry it away. And Sir BCHD getting continually frustrated on the sidelines. Lovely connecting play from PSG here. Pulisic takes it in his own stride, and Gravenberch nearly caught him out in possession, but Messi fires it through to Mbappe, and there we go. De Gea responds to Donnarumma with a save of his own. Back on inside, he's found his way into the box, and all of a sudden they had a shooting chance there, but luckily it fell to Tapsoba. So close to catching him on the break here, but Benacer through to Mbappe, and he's fired that one wide. Back on out to Frenkie de Jong, trying to find that killer pass, killer ball, and Anthony, nice little back heel. It's Gakpo for the opener, and that is a team goal if I've ever seen one, for his 38th goal of the season. Cody Gakpo, our star-studded number 11. Who else would it have been in the Champions League final to open his account? We have broken the deadlock after some intricate passing. The movement was on point, and all of a sudden Cody Gakpo, free of his man, lost his marker, and it's a left foot superstar finish into the bottom left-hand corner. Donnarumma at full stretch, couldn't do nothing about it. It's the United boys, the Flying Dutchman, to get us into the lead here. It's his 6th Champions League goal of the campaign, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Now, could that open the floodgates? Anthony's back heel could legit be the assist of the century. Oh, they do have Neymar. I think they've subbed him on. They might have a answer of their own as Donny van der Beek can find that killer through ball. And again, it's Cody Gakpo catching this PSG defense sleeping. He's going to cut it outside. It was an open goal. Christian Pulisic caught on the ball. Sven Botman did well to outmuscle him and body him to the ground as Van der Beek ready to find that through ball, and he does exactly that. Cody Gakpo in again, and it's Cody Gakpo to finish it off. It is the Gakpo show in the Champions League final, scoring a double, making sure his name is up in the headlines. And that was a chance created, placed on a silver platter by Donny van der Beek, and one-on-one with Donnarumma. He just fired that into the top left-hand corner. A venomous right foot strike. Now number 11 making sure things don't go to extra time here. It is 2, and surely that has killed the game off. Van der Beek again. Is Cody Gakpo going to get a Champions League hat-trick? It might be, you know. Gakpo's in again. And Donnarumma had to come out and make himself big. Here we go back inside to Christian Pulisic, who has a go. And David De Gea wants to keep his clean sheet in this final with 2 added minutes. And let's find out to see what's going to happen here. We've headed that one away. And there's no keeper. There's no keeper. Let's try and score. No, it's PSG to get one back. Tapsoba this time. He's gone off to celebrate. There's not enough time to celebrate for the Parisians. 1 minute of added time left. They've got one back. Surely we just pass it around the back now. They think they've sent it into extra time. I don't know what they're celebrating about. Just play it calm. Let's just not risk anything right here. Make sure we've won it. It's all we needed to do. A slim 2-1 win in the end, but it was Cody Gakpo, the main man, to make sure the game was put to bed. A second half brace was enough to get United's Dutch boys over the line. We took over Erik ten Hag's United rebuild. We took them to brand new heights, and here in this Champions League final, taking over PSG again. The French outfit losing 2 Champions League finals in a row, losing out to Wolfsburg last year, and the Red Devils making light work of them tonight as we've taken the club back to the top. I think what we can learn from this video is that Cody Gakpo is the career mode GOAT this year. Just sign him up. You have to. It has been a glorious journey so far as Frenkie de Jong will lift up the trophy tonight. Our captain, our leader, our first ever signing in this video. Our superstar player as we've built a Dutch dynasty here at United. Let me know down below if there's any other rebuild challenges I should do. We've got the likes of Unai Emery at Aston Villa, Michael Carrick at Middlesbrough, or should it be another club/country challenge? Let me know. If you did make it this far and enjoy, make sure to drop the video a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on those notifications so you never miss out on any upcoming videos on the channel. As always, I've been Sir BCHD. We've got a lot more. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.
Don't walk away from me. Pretty little thing, I need your company. Baby, come and ride with me. Loving on you how we supposed to be. Well, that's how we supposed to be. Well, that's how we supposed to be. Well, that's how we supposed to be. Baby, just you and me. Ride it like a Harley, you belly dance. She's so fly, she autopilot when I undress. Shawty hate when I get violent, apply the pressure. On the block and I be styling, young and wildin'. See me in the foreign, they be profiling. Gotta do it for the gang, gotta stay solid. Already on 10, talking landslide wins. Pretty on thin, living with no guidance. Don't you pull up with your hand out, cause I'm the man now. Play with Shawty, that's a man down.